This next exercise I'll be demonstrating is going to be a two-armed kettlebell swing. So for the grip of this exercise, it's going to be in a pronated grip with the index fingers as close together or touching. In my case, they're going to be touching. A couple things to keep in mind when you do this. Throughout the exercise, you want to keep the back in a neutral spine position. The shoulders are going to be retracted and depressed. Feet, we're going to stay flat on the floor, and the eyes focus straight ahead or slightly upward. So again, you're going to do your best to maintain a neutral spine throughout this movement. And all your repetitions are going to start in this position here, which is about 3/4 of a squat. Kettlebell is just relaxed in between the thighs. All right, so to get the movement going, there's a couple phases. The first phase is the backwards phase. And so you're going to be moving the kettlebell backwards a little bit further, and then you're going to extend the hips and go up there. That was a little bit of a slow-mo demonstration. Momentum is a big part of completing this exercise. So we're here, knees are flexed, hips are also flexed. So we're going to bring the kettlebell back and up, up. Keeping the shoulder blades back, and my feet went off the floor on that one. All right. So for that exercise, a couple things. I did feel my feet, my toes come off the ground. And I was also looking at the camera a little bit just so I could see what it looked like. So for a progression of this, one thing, again, an easy progression is just using heavier weight. But for this particular progression, I'm going to add a component of instability. Adding some foam. The technique's the same, just that added element of instability for this one. So you're really training some balance and some stability here. Just like that. As far as a regression goes, another one you can do, just use a lighter kettlebell. That's probably the easiest regression. But you can also break this movement down into smaller components. So rather than going through that full range of motion with a weight, you can start with just a partial movement. If the athlete's having trouble maintaining a neutral spine, keeping their feet on the ground for whatever reason, those are some options you have available. So for this one, I'm going to start and only do this through a partial range of motion. Again, maybe they're just having difficulty with this. This right here would be good for if they're really struggling with the backward phase. It's pretty much just a squat. Just worrying about maintaining good spine position as well as really getting that backward phase down and corrected. A couple mistakes that can occur is when swinging the kettlebell up, really getting a lot of back extension or lumbar extension. You want the main muscles you want working here are the big hip muscles and the glute muscles. So one cue I like to use when doing this exercise with somebody is to squeeze the butt muscles when you're doing that. Or it's almost like you're hip thrusting. And that tends to get a little bit more activation out of the glutes and the large hip muscles rather than the low back muscles. So that's really where you want to feel it. Another common area that I see is you not letting momentum carry the kettlebell. And so people's arms will get really tired, especially if they're lifting heavy weights. And that's not necessarily should be the driving muscle force behind this exercise. Again, you're really targeting the glutes. So if they're bringing the arms up in too much flexion, their arms are going to get tired really quick, and that's going to become the limiting factor of the exercise rather than the muscles that you're actually wanting to train in the large hip muscles and glute muscles. All right, there's that one. Thank you guys.